Is Dallas about to go all defense? I think so. What's good, people? It's your boy, Mr. Ron Cowboys fan talk, right back like I never left. Listen, I know before I get started, y'all waiting for me to be like, sign Dak. Yeah, sign Dak. I don't need to go on the diatribe. Y'all know how I feel. But today is not about Dak. Although I do think it's been pretty quiet before the storm. This weekend we gonna get some movement. Mark my words. But today is about my favorite part of football, defense. I know the guy that's always talking about Dak is a person that's pro defense. I love defensive football. It's what wins games and championships. It's the reason why we've been struggling as a Cowboys franchise. And there's a player that I think that we could take at 10 that is the most crazy weapon in this draft defensively. You want to go offense? I get it. But defensively, Jeremiah Osua Komora, if I butchered his name, I'm sorry. I'm going to just call him the Joke or Joker. Listen, his game is no joke. All pun intended. You know what I'm saying? Jeremiah or Joke is super versatile. I'm talking about a linebacker that can play in the middle. He has incredible football instincts. If y'all just want to enjoy yourselves this Friday afternoon or evening, go to YouTube and just type in Jeremiah Osua Komora's name and just watch what happens. Watch the highlights. That boy gets busy. He can blitz. He can play off the edge. He can play, I think his natural position is the will. We can put him at the mic. If we draft him, I do think that they will run Leighton Vander Esch at the mic. And if y'all paid attention earlier this week, a quiet report came out saying that Jalen Smith is moving to the Sam. If we're running a 4-3, which is Quinn's defense, and you put Leighton Vander Esch at the mic, and you put Komora at the will, you're talking about a defensive front seven that can be pretty crucial. Dallas is a place that definitely appreciates the linebacker position. And this is a dude that can come in and make some changes. You know his biggest attribute? He can step outside the hashes and cover receivers. He played against Devonta Smith and locked him up at a linebacker. He can definitely, and this is his biggest attribute, he can cover tight ends step for step because he can run receivers. He can cover in the slot. And then he can step back in to the box and blitz. He can play box safety. He is a jack of all trades. And I think that we need to consider him at 10 because he could change our whole landscape on the defense. He's a beast. He is a beast. But then I started to think, okay, if we take Joke at 10, they just met with Elijah Molden. Elijah Molden out of, I think it's Washington, cornerback. I think, what's Molden's characteristics? 40 time, he runs about a 4.5, 37-inch vertical. Now, he is a senior, so he has been in college for a minute, 4-year senior. But I do think that that's not a bad thing. He's 22. I think that could bring a certain level of maturity and experience that a young rookie coming in at like around 19, 20, just might need a year or two to mature. I think he's ready to go. You know, I do think that, and I don't know if we'll take him in a second. You know, I actually think that we're targeting him because we're thinking about taking him with one of our first third round picks if he's still there. So I just think that Dallas is not finally, but I think this could be the draft that we go all in on defense. We push all our chips to the middle of the table and just be like, all right, it's time to stop neglecting this side of the ball on an overall outlook of the team. You know, Dallas is, when you first bring Dallas up, you go O-line, you go Dak, you go running back, you go receiving core, you go everything. By the time you get to defense, you just name 2 or 3 players. I think that we're going to start loading up on defense, man. I think that that's the direction of the team. Free agency will tell us a lot because depending on what free agents they pick up, is on what direction we're going in the draft. That's why I haven't made too many of these videos, because it's kind of pointless, man. Until that Dak domino falls, I know, back to Dak, it's hard to kind of figure out which direction the team is going. But when we get crumbs, like they just met virtually with Elijah Molden, it kind of tells you what they're thinking, because he's not good enough to go 10. So obviously they're not thinking about that. They're thinking about maybe going corner later in the draft, which means we signed Cheeto back, pick up Elijah Molden, start to strengthen our secondary, pick up Joker, strengthen our linebacking core, sign Gerald McCoy, which is something else that's on the table. You know, they've already been in talks. And we start shoring up this defense at every level. That's what I'm thinking. You know, definitely thinking about taking some D tackles later in the draft, maybe Marvin Wilson, and we can really start putting this thing together. But to circle back to Joke, I just think that he's the most important weapon, because he's one of the new rare breeds of defenders, like Isaiah Simmons from last year, that can play every position. Every position. And that's important now. You can't just, well, you can be, but if you can play 3 or 4 different positions on your defense and cover different areas of the field, you're a weapon now. And the fact that he can run with tight ends, like they're the athletic tight ends, like he can run step for step with Kelsey. You know what I'm saying? Or if the Eagles get froggy and take Kyle Pitts, guess who we're going to put on them? Guess who's going to run stride for stride with Kyle Pitts if we don't get him? The Joke. And shut him down. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm going to start calling. Joke is the Kyle Pitts stopper. That's why we would draft him, and that's why we need him. Elijah Molden will shore up this secondary. We re-sign Cheeto, maybe sign a veteran corner. With doing that, this defense gets crucial. But listen, what do y'all think is going to happen this weekend? March 9th is coming. March 9th is coming. I'm pushing my chips to the middle and saying we're going to sign Dak. I think something's going to come down this evening or over the weekend, and we're going to be talking about it all next week. And it's the first thing you're going to hear. Dallas made a mistake by giving Dak all that money. That's what's coming up, I'm telling y'all. But it's cool. That's what I think. What y'all think? It's your boy, Mr. Rome. Have a good weekend.